Melissa Rishel.
Hello, Carl White.
It is so glad to have you. So I'm so glad to happy to. I'm so glad. I'm so happy. I'm so glad happy to have you here. So we were talking
Ditto.
on Breakfast Club just briefly, and I thought, I want to hear more about this. And
Yeah,
so
I'm happy to share.
yeah, so you're located in one of my favorite cities, Virginia Beach,
Yes, it's a
right?
wonderful place to raise a family.
Yeah, and you work. Are you native there by chance?
I've been here since I was 9, so I've been here
Pretty much.
longer than I
Pretty much.
wasn't. So
Yeah,
yeah.
pretty much. Pretty much. And you work with a very dear friend of mine, Miss Marty Fink.
Yes, she is
Yeah.
my branch manager. She's the one who got me over to Homespire.
Nice, nice. Really, really, I really like her. She's just a real, she's not
Oh
just
my
good at what she
gosh.
does, she's a good person, and
She is
that's,
a wonderful person.
yeah.
Everybody at Homespire is wonderful. I'm just amazed that this is even like a possibility in our industry to have such amazing people.
And you've got a short story, but it's an inspiring story. So I thought would have you on. So you've been working how long you've been working independent, like as a loan officer, producing your own leads and whatnot for what period of time?
I made the decision. It was my New Year's goal. So January, I decided to step out on my own and get my own leads. And then I joined MMA in February.
And as we're recording this, this is August,
Yes,
right? So really January, February is when you put on your hat and said, "All right, I got this. I'm gonna beat this like a rented mule." Not that we would
this
ever
is
beat a
what
rented
I'm
mule.
meant to be, where I'm meant to be, and what I'm meant to do. So let's do it.
All right, so tell me about, I don't know, this month or last month or whichever month. So here we are, like what, 6 months into this, something like that.
Mhm.
Uh, what's the results first, and then let's talk about how you did it.
Yeah, so July, I was kind of getting a little discouraged. I hadn't had any closings yet. I'd had some leads, but when you first are getting started, the leads are kind of not the best. So there was a lot of credit repair type stuff. So I was just getting discouraged because I was, running through my savings that I had when I made this decision to step to sales and commission only. And I was getting a little worried. I was like, I'm going to have to go back to like salary type position and find a job. And then I all of a sudden just started getting agents kind of responding to my weekly calls and sending me leads. And August, I have six closings. So the end of July, I got a bunch of leads in. They immediately went under contract, and I have six closings. Three have already closed. I have one closing this Friday and another one closing next Friday.
So that's pretty remarkable. It's almost like somebody opened up the floodgates. So so first
That's
of all,
exactly how it was described to me, too.
yeah. So first of all, the fact that you doubled down, uh, you didn't give up and throw in the towel, which would be easy to do, right? It'd be easy to do. And no, and frankly, nobody could blame somebody for doing that, right?
Yeah.
But you didn't do that and you stuck with it. Tell me about that decision. Like how was it, like how'd you keep going when we you always hear those stories about they stop just 2 feet of hitting the gold mine, kind of thing. What's that conversation like in your head?
Um, it's really,
Mhm.
it's I mean, just listening to other people's stories like Breakfast Club, hearing the wins and people who are in my exact same, position, maybe this time last year or even last month, and hearing them say that, I also had zero loans last month and now I have, four or five closings. Just hearing the success from other people really helped me kind of reevaluate and be like, okay, I know in my heart and in my gut that what I'm doing is where I want to be and where I'm meant to be. So I just got to push through this final hurdle, and then I just having leaning on my faith that God is leading me in the right direction, and just doing the steps daily. It's really I attribute it to just doing the work, and reaping the rewards.
Mm. So the cool part about all this to me, and this is my favorite part by far, is the ripple effect. And that, like, the person that inspired me was actually a husband-wife team, Ralph and Kristen Watkins, and many of the people listening to this probably know them, who they are. So they inspired me and kind of helped get me up and going. And then I got up and going, and then you listening to the other people that's in the same situation, how they got up and going, and that inspired you to keep at it. And now
Hmm.
here you are inspiring tens of thousands of loan officers across the nation. And that's a really
Yeah,
cool thing, isn't
it's a
it?
full circle moment. It's not somewhere I thought, for a long time where I would be. I'm just now kind of wrapping my brain around the fact that, I can reach my big goals that I set for myself, and it's not like out of reach, and I'm not like, reaching for the stars when I should be, staying in the atmosphere. It's really a new realization that this might actually, you know, be my path and lead me to where my goals are.
So one risk of having such a fast explosion of business, I'll never forget. I was about 6 months in, and I had my first 10 closings for the month. Right. And I thought, man, I thought I had arrived. Right. I thought, okay, all right,
All right, I can stop working now. It's
I
all
got
going to
it.
just come to me.
Yes. And this is a true story. The very next month, I goose egged. I literally went 10 on month six, and literally, you think it's impossible. Like, surely you'd get one, but I didn't. I got zero on month seven. And it might have been month seven and month eight, but it was very early.
Mm-hmm.
And so how do we so that you'll have all this new business coming in, and you're making sure that it's closing and keeping everybody happy and updating and all this and that. How do you find time, or have you had time to start working on September now? Like, how is September shaking up, or is that kind of a challenge?
Yeah, no, it is definitely a concern because, like you said, it kind of all came in at once, and then it was kind of like a lull. I kind of got distracted by the work on my desk, and did kind of get away from making my calls. And I did notice that, okay, I'm not getting any applications, I'm not getting any leads. Like, what's going to happen next month? Because I don't have anything like working. And then so it was just getting back on my daily success plan with making my calls, asking for the business. That was a big hurdle I had to overcome, was actually putting myself out there and asking for the business. And last week, or I think early this week, I got like 3 leads in one day. All three turned into applications, pre-approvals, and these are all
Okay.
people who want to buy in September. So they're shopping, but once I started getting back on my calls and doing the things that got me to my August numbers, it just kind of really picked right back up. So I can definitely see what you're saying there. And I did notice a little bit of a lull, but it's easy to just, start doing it again.
So what's been the like? Who have you called? And I don't mean by name, but by like what group of people, what source? Who have you called, and what was your hook to get them to start referring you business? Because I'm as well. That's my. I mean, are these people that you previously knew, or were you introduced to them by somebody, or what did that look like?
No, so the majority of my deals right now are from a brand new agent relationship that I made. I started making my calls weekly, and got a hold of one agent who was part of the team. She was one of the team leads, and I offered to call on her database to help drum up some business for her. And I would do the 3 by 3. I sent her my script that I was going to use so she felt comfortable with what I was going to say, and I would just call them and be like, I'm calling on behalf of your agent that, worked with you on your your home at this address. I'm just helping her keep in touch with her wonderful clients like you. How's everything going with the home? Do you have any questions or issues? Do you know anybody, friends, family, or coworkers who are looking to buy, sell, or refinance that so me and Christina could help them just like the way she helped you? And that actually got her like 3 listings out of my calling her database, her past closed database. And so with that, she started sending me referrals. And then that led to her other team lead being like, oh, okay. She would be talking about me at the team meetings. And so then the next agent was like, okay, sending me referral. And then before I knew it, like people on the team that I'd never even talked to one time, like they were on my list to get on a coffee meeting with, are sending me referrals, and I'd never even spoken to them once. So really, I attribute it to really putting myself out there and asking for the database. Obviously, I had to build a little bit of a rapport with her. She's not going to just share a database with me. So once I got that rapport in with her, she was like, yeah, sure, I trust you. And we got her that business. And then it was just, you know, all up from there.
Hey there. Hey, if you're loving the tips so far, be sure to hit that subscribe button right down there and then tap the little bell so that you never miss out on more free, cool tips coming your way. Also, I would love to hear from you. Drop a comment beneath there. Let me know what you think or tell me what you'd like to hear next. That sounds so when you started calling her database, like were you scared?
No, actually, it was the easiest calls I made because I don't know these people. I'm not calling for myself. Like I'm setting the call up that I'm calling on behalf of someone else who asked me to call. And it's calling as a act of service to help them. And the cherry on top would be if they had anybody that they knew that we could also help. If 99% of the time, just like always, you put them on the spot. They don't know anybody right off the bat. So one thing that I would do to try to get them to do a call to action, I'd be like, okay, that's fine. Well, is it okay? I had my agent send me the link to her reviews page, and I would ask everybody, if you haven't already, is it okay if I text you a link to leave her a review? So that way it helps other people find an amazing agent just like you did. And then I send a group text with that person and the agent with my little script, and here's the link to go leave her review, and like shot her reviews up like crazy.
I'm guessing you got a new best friend.
Yeah, she's every text she's like, hello, my friend.
Very good. And what right? And the cool thing about this, like as far as the implementation of it, like you didn't buy anything. Like there was no like software because you're just simply using the phone, calling them up,
Mm-hmm.
asking for referrals. Oh, by the way, could you give a review?
Yep.
And there's no heavy lifting there whatsoever. So how many people was in the database that you called?
I think she sent me like 80. It was around 80 people.
Wow,
And it
so you
was
got
all the way, yeah, it was all
you
the way back to like 2018, I think was the latest or the longest
very
past.
interesting. So you got
Mm-hmm.
all that from 80 calling 80 people, which I'm just guessing that you probably caught voicemail over half the time.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Yep. And
Wow.
even the people that I left voicemails with, like my CRM will tell me if a home hits the market, like an address of one of
Yeah.
the people in my database. And so even people who I left voicemails for, they got the voicemail, reached out to my agent and, listed their property. So the voicemails worked. But yeah, it was mostly voicemails.
So these other agents that's in her office? What's this agent? What's her first name, if you don't mind me asking?
Christina.
Christina. So are the other agents that work in Christina's office that are now calling you, are they saying, "Hey, could you call my past database and get reviews and listings for me
Yeah,
too?"
so I did bring that up to them. They everyone's a little bit hesitant, and the feedback I've gotten is, oh, I need to scrub my list to make sure that like people haven't I know have like moved, because we're a very heavy military town.
Yeah.
So it's a high turnover rate, if you want to
Hmm.
say. So I do have, they are very, people are always interested. It's just getting them to download it into like a CSV or an Excel file and getting it out to me. So that is kind of a little bit of the speed bump I'm coming in
Bottleneck.
into.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Hmm. So I wonder how you'd fix that. Like what, I wonder, like, is this office kind of close by your office?
Hmm.
I wonder if you could offer like, so first of all, I would have no clue how to do this. So just throwing this out there. What would happen if you say, hey, Realtor Melissa, what if I come over to your office at 2 o'clock? I'll bring a couple cups of coffee and I'll sit right there and we'll do it together and we can get this knocked out so that you can start getting more reviews and more listings just like Christina is.
Yeah, that is
Um,
definitely on my radar. I have it on
yeah.
my, list to do like a call night, like call it a call night. I'll bring dinner for
Ah.
everybody and we all just do like calls. And then I'm there to on the spot pre-approve anybody who they get a hold of. And we just, do like a 2 hour marathon call session. That's on my, I want to approach that to them next.
I like that. You know, it never ceases to amaze me that, and not just the real estate. In this case, it's about the real estate agents, but us loan officers are just as guilty that we hesitate. They're hesitating to delegate out what they're already not doing. Like they're not
Hmm.
doing it, right?
Right.
So they're not calling. They're not doing anything. And well, I hesitate having you call when nobody's like nothing's worse than nobody, right? That's the
Yeah.
what they have is the worst that could happen is they're hearing nothing. And so I always found that funny. And I have to make sure, take my own pulse on that from time to time. Well, that's very interesting. Gosh, it's a pretty simple little thing. I've heard of these other, I've heard, or I know some loan officers in the past that had these call nights, where the one I'm thinking of actually was another lady. You ladies are on the ball. You ladies are on the ball. Us guys, we can be a little bit of slackards sometimes, I think. But which is funny. So you ladies also are disproportionately, in at least in my experience, disproportionately higher producers. Like the how many top producers per 100 men versus per 100 women. I would definitely say that you ladies are heavily overrepresented. So y'all gotta
Well,
you
who
got a better
runs the world?
yeah, no doubt you got a better work ethic as a general rule. So, if you were starting all over again, is there anything in this very short amount of time that you've seen this explosion? There's not many loan officers that had six closings for the month, right? That puts you in a very thin air already. Is there anything that you like? And again, you've only been doing this a short period. This has happened very rapidly. Um, is there anything that you would do different? Like you've learned now that, hey, I wish I'd have done this different or sooner or not done this, or is there any piece of it like if you were teaching a class, you could say, hey, be sure to do this and don't do that.
Yeah, I mean, picking up the phone and making the calls is 100% like how to do it. Just making the calls, and the more, pretty much most people have call reluctance. So the only way that I have found to get over my call reluctance is to do the calls. I noticed that the more consistent I'm doing my calls, the less anxiety I have when I'm starting. And then even if I take just one day break and don't do my calls one day, the next day I notice that anxiety build up a little bit and that little
Hmm.
hesitation. So just really being consistent with it, really, being authentic and interested in the people that you're reaching out to, and really, curating your list to people that you really want to build a relationship with.
Hmm. I hear you. I'm always reminded anytime I feel anxiety, and I do sometimes, right? I'm doing something, I get nervous or call reluctance or stage reluctance or whatever that podcast reluctance, like all these things that I personally experience. I always think that pales in comparison to the anxiety of watching a decreasing bank account,
Hmm.
right? And boy, I remember it well. Like it's been a while, but I do. I remember it well. And it's not so bad. Like, all right, if I have to go without a couple things, whatever. I'm a big boy, whatever. I'm all good. But like in my case, the lovely Mrs. White have to go without something. or in my case, my three kids have to go without something, or sometimes, my nephews or nieces that I can, I'm honored to be a part of their life and help them out. The idea of letting them down, I know that's, you mentioned that you have at least, you have, how many kids do you
I
have?
have I have three. One's
Three.
in college and two 14 and 13. So they're my 100% my motivators.
Yeah,
Just giving them all the opportunities to set them up for success in their life is like my number one priority.
I know it is. I know it is. So, and you shared right before we clicked the record button, you shared that your 14-year-old, that her bucket list is to go to Paris for a senior trip. And so if she's 14, we got what, probably 3 years? You got 3 years left?
She just had her see her freshman orientation today, so she's got 4 years.
Oh, Melissa,
We got time.
no, it's going to happen. That is
Yeah.
absolutely going to happen. And I'll bet somebody 5 to 1 odds that it'll be first class. And
Yeah.
so good for you. It's just
I'm
such a great
excited.
story. And I know there's people that are listening to this. So somebody's listening to this and saying, "Hey, I'm thinking about throwing it in, and man, it's just been really tough, and I'm watching my bank account run down." What would you tell them?
I would tell them to take some time and really do some self reflection and look at if you're really doing the things that it takes to get it done. And one of the don'ts you had said, what would you do and what would you don't? My
Yeah.
don't would be don't take things personal. So when you're calling and you're getting rejected, don't take it personal. The way I kind of flip it is okay, I appreciate the loyalty that they have for the relationships that they've already built, and I would want my relationships to do the same thing. So if someone's calling on my relationships, I would want them to be a little standoffish at first as well because they're loyal to me. So you just always got to flip it and not take it personal. It's not a rejection to you. It's just a a pause for right now.
Wow. Good stuff, Melissa. Hey, well, what's next?
Just doing the things, I'm part of Mortgage Marketing Animals, which is 100% contribution to my success so far. I have been in this business for 5 years and I have not had the desire to like reach out and be in sales, and MMA has just really given me the tools and the confidence to and you talking to you with all your little nuggets, and you're so available to us for us. Like I remember one time I was like, I feel like I'm bothering people, and just the nuggets that you gave where it's like you're calling them to help them, you're not calling them to ask them for anything. And so just all of that has been invaluable. And I just look forward to, moving up in the coaching and just digging deeper into, my business and doing all the right things.
Yeah, well, I appreciate your kind words, but let me tell you something, my friend. So thousands and thousands and thousands of people will watch this, or some will be watching it on YouTube. Some will be listening to it as a podcast, and they'll hear this same message, frankly, that you likely heard at some point. But what sets you apart is you took action, you did something. So I just want to give you 100% of the credit because a lot of people will hear the message and a small handful will run with it. And those that do are the ones that are in control of their destiny and not the whims of somebody else. So congratulations, my friend. It couldn't, I tell you,
Thank
just a little bit I've
you.
got to know you, it couldn't happen to a nicer person. So
Thank you
you're
so much.
you're a great inspiration. So all right, I think that's it. Hey, well, thanks for coming on. I really appreciate it. And I'll see you
Thanks
on
for
the
having me.
I'll see you on the Breakfast Club.
Be on the Breakfast Club.
All right. Thanks, Melissa.
You're welcome. Take care, Carl. I'll talk to you soon.
All right. Well, thank you very much, Melissa. So, hey, listeners, as you're listening to this, first of all, thanks so much for letting me be a part of your day here. And I just got a quick question for you. If I could show you the exact step-by-step plan, the exact scripts, the exact who to call, what to say, the exact same plan that Melissa had that took her from literally 0 to 6 in like record time. If I could show you exactly how to do that, would you give us 20, 30 minutes to show you exactly how to do it? There's no charge for this whatsoever. We'll map out the exact plan that she did. At the end of that call, hey, we'll look to see if you want to do more of those calls together with us. Would love for you to be part of the group. But either way, it's totally good. You will absolutely 100%, I guarantee, leave with a complete plan ready to implement all alone by yourself, or we're happy to help you with that. So either way, it'd be totally cool. But if we could show you that whole plan, start to finish, would you give us 20, 30 minutes to show you how? Would love the opportunity to do that. So go to getmoreloans.com, getmoreloans.com. And the reason why you're going to go there, so you can getmoreloans.com because it's your turn now and you're worthy. So thanks again, Melissa. I really appreciate you. And for you listening today, as you're listening to this right now, I'll talk to you when you call in. Thanks again. Getmoreloans.com.